Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is time to get into an intraday update on AMC stock. AMC at the time of recording this video is down 1.76%, but there are some key things that you should know happening with AMC and the broad markets, because really what we've seen over the past couple of days and what we will see over the next couple of days will be a lot of pressure around the debt ceiling and on earnings. We talked about this a little bit in the last video as well, but I do want to highlight what this means for AMC, what it could do to AMC's share price. So, work's cut out for us here in this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. So, AMC stock, I want you guys to notice right off the rip here, before we start talking about anything else, 50-day moving average for AMC is at $5.03 per share. AMC stock is at $5.04 per share. You have been virtually flat over the last week or so of trading, but you have held the 50-day moving average. It's actually insane how well AMC has traded. You're holding up above this demand level as well, which is in between $5, $4.80 per share. So if you don't understand what a demand zone is, think about it as a really strong level of support. Now, next court day, debt ceiling, earnings in the markets, all of this can play a role to how AMC is going to trade. But I'll tell you, it's been pretty bullish for what we have right now, okay? We're waiting on the courts and this conversion, and you're possibly facing massive dilution. So I would say AMC's been trading pretty bullishly. The fact that you're still in a bullish uptrend is a positive thing. Now, the street, I pointed this out in multiple articles now, or videos now, but the street believes that news around the ape conversion in the short term could end up being super bullish for AMC. Why they think that, who knows, okay? But it's an interesting take, and one that I guess you really haven't seen from anyone else. The street is kind of putting themselves out there and saying that. Now, as far as the Ortex data, for the first time in 4 years, AMC Theaters Summer Movie Camp returns with tickets as low as $3. That's interesting. Weird headline right there. But if we take a look at the overview of the short interest on AMC stock, you could see $661 million worth of short positions currently on AMC stock, a short score of 89, 25% estimated short interest of free float, 32.49% free float out on loan, 167.75 million shares that are currently out on loan. Days to cover, 5.58. It looks like that's going to tick up even more after the trading day today because, I mean, it's another pretty low volume day. And that's what has really kept AMC in this small range. And the volume is something that I do want to highlight as well for you guys later on in this video. Now, cost to borrow, 75.2% and 100% share utilization. Now, if you take a look at the cost to borrow rates as of today, Ortex is giving us a cost to borrow max of 356.8%. Yesterday's cost to borrow max was 677%. I don't know if this is a glitch or not, or why these numbers are coming up, but Interactive Brokers has the cost to borrow rate at about 60%. So we're getting some weird numbers from somewhere, and this cost to borrow max is really taken from different brokerages, right? Interactive Brokers is one, Robinhood's one, Weeble's one, Moomoo's one, Fidelity, Thinkorswim, E-Trade, right? These are all different brokerages, and they're all going to have their own cost to borrow fees. But what this is showing you is there is still a lack of shares that are available to be kind of traded in general, right? To be bought or sold. And I think that's why you're seeing the volume that is so small. Now, taking a look at the option activity, I don't really have to say this at this point because I'm sure you guys are already aware. The volume most of it on any given day, a good percentage of it, I would say anywhere from 35 to 55% of the volume on any given day that we've calculated is market makers that have to go out and short AMC because of why? These deep in the money puts that keep coming for AMC stock. And these deep in the money puts are the 10, the 13, $15 puts. Way deep in the money when AMC is $5 per share. We're seeing one of those orders today. A July 21st $13 put worth $865,000. And a lot of these orders are historically very large for AMC. $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, $7 million, $10 million in a single trade is a very big deal. And when the volume is as low as it has been recently, it has a big impact to AMC. Now, before we get into AMC and some of the technicals here, I do want to talk about what's going on with the debt ceiling, as well as Powell. Now, with Powell, he's having an unscheduled speech, right? Unscheduled conference. There is no video for this, so we cannot bring you guys a video update. This is at the not the White House, but right here, the House with Democrats, which is weird because Powell is technically a Republican, so why is he meeting with a bunch of Democrats? It's all very weird. He did arrive about 40 minutes ago, and he did not answer questions from reporters. He just walked in there, he's doing his thing, and we really haven't gotten any headlines yet. Maybe by the time this video does get released, we may have a headline, but I think it's just weird. This was an unscheduled event. Nobody knew really Powell was going to do this. So maybe we get new information. And that's the big thing as far as the Fed today. Tomorrow, you're going to get the FOMC minutes, and that will also be very important for this market. Granted, if Powell doesn't say anything to spook us or make us excited, the Fed minutes is going to be the next thing coming tomorrow morning. Now, as far as the debt ceiling, we did see a pretty big drop in the markets that correlated with this video that was put out on Kevin McCarthy's Twitter page 56 minutes ago. He says, I've been very clear with the president since day one. We're not raising taxes. The problem is Washington spends too much. And if you look at some of the tweets that he's put out, they don't sound too encouraging, right? This one, 3 hours ago, says there are 9 days left for Democrats to meet the deadline. But since President Biden ignored this debt crisis for more than 100 days, make no mistake, any default would be the Biden default. And then yesterday, you had McCarthy saying talks were productive, but really wasn't any progress. So it's a lot of back and forth right here. And a lot of people have made this a point to say that the markets are not going to, or the Congress, this meeting for the debt ceiling, they're not going to react until something else reacts, until financial markets react, whether it's the bond market or whether it is the stock market. And that means we might have to get closer to that deadline than what a lot of people would hope for, potentially even passing a deal at the last minute or doing a stopgap deal where they could kind of kick the can down the road is always a possibility as well. But I'll tell you, this may not be a good thing because spending has been so high at the government. If they are forced to not spend as much, well, that's not going to be very supportive for the economy. And the markets will try to kind of look forward to that. Like we said, you're going to have Palo Alto earnings and after hours and Intuit. Those are going to be probably the two big guys, Toll Brothers as well. None of these companies are that important, which is, I mean, there's only like 10 companies that are really important to this market, and they're the mega cap stocks. But NVIDIA will be big tomorrow in after hours. So keep that in mind, in line with the collateral crisis, potential margin calls that could come with AI. If AI gives it up, that's a problem for this market. Now, if we take a look at the option activity for this Friday for AMC stock, you got about 20,000 calls in the money, 77,000 calls out the money, 29,000 puts in the money, and 58,000 puts that are currently out of the money. So not a crazy amount of option activity, but enough to get the ball rolling. And what we've seen in the past is expirations with low option activity tend to give you kind of the biggest moves, right? Now, if we take a look at the markets are flushing into new lows. We may be getting some comments from Fed Jerome Powell coming out right about now, or the debt ceiling. Those have been the things that have really dominated this market as of the last couple of days. Now, we'll have to report back to you guys in another video as well, because you're not allowed to show Bloomberg terminals or anything here on YouTube. They don't tend to like that, so we'll have to get you guys that information here in just a few. But if we look at AMC stock, AMC is still holding up at the demand level start at about $5 per share, taking a down move right now. But if we look at this on a technical basis, 50-day moving average showing a lot of support. Very positive thing. The overall volume, though, is very low. Volume at 7.7 million shares trading hands so far. It's almost 2 o'clock, guys. This is a volume story. The volume is essentially gone. It's like half of what it used to be in the beginning of 2023. Sometimes, 3 times less volume. So just imagine when volume does come back into the stock, because volume will come back into the stock at some point. Typically, you want to buy when there's low volume and, sell when there's higher volume, if that is your trading strategy. Volume tends to lead prices to go higher, whereas when you have low volume and you see a lot of bearish option activity, it can tend to lead prices to go downward. So when volume does increase, I expect to blow past all of these levels that we have marked right now and start to kind of go higher towards that $10 level. I think that is in the cards relatively soon, if courts are good, or if this collateral crisis comes a lot sooner than my expectations. Then a rally in AMC could also come a lot sooner than my expectations, guys. So that is going to do it here in this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. If you guys do want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.